Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
O my Lord, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Thank you. Naranam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye.
Which is very means of conquest. One should offer respectful obeisances to the personality of Godhead unto Narayana, she is the foremost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Shri Vyasdev, the author.
Namaskareshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki.
By regular attendance in the classes of Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all the destructions of the powers are almost completely destroyed, and the loving service of the personality of God, whose praise we transcend the song, is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Ajnana
Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Was born in the darkness of ignorance, but spiritual master of
Light of knowledge.
I offer my respectful obeisances to him.
Hare Krishna. It is my good fortune to be in the association of such exalted Vaishnavas. I seek all your blessings, Dharmapana Prabhu, especially yours, senior most here. I seek all your blessings that I can serve you. I truly feel fortunate coming out of that Guru Puja, seeing the enthusiasm, the sincere devotion. Really, it's my good fortune to be here and serve you. So thank you so much. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 7th chapter, text number 48 till 55. So maybe we can start from text 48. So we do translations only? Okay. So this is what Prahlad learned in the womb. That's the chapter's title. So some real nectar here. So I think we can all recite together. So text 48. The four principles of advancement in spiritual life. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha.
All depend on the disposition of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, my dear friends, follow the footsteps of devotees without desire, fully depend upon the
disposition of the Supreme Lord. Worship Him, the Super Soul, in all devotional service. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is the soul and the Super Soul of all living entities. Every living entity is a manifestation of His energy.
in terms of the living soul and the living body. Therefore, the Lord is the most dear and
And He is the Supreme Controller.
demigod, demon,
Yaksha, Gandharva, or anyone, Mukunda, who can give a liberation, is actually situated in the most auspicious condition of life. Exactly like us, the Maha. The demons, you cannot please the Supreme Personality of Godhead by becoming perfect Brahmanas, good in etiquette or vast learning. These qualifications can awaken the pleasure of the Lord, nor by charity, austerity, sacrifice, cleanliness, or vows one can satisfy the Lord. The Lord is pleased only if one has unflinching, unalloyed devotion to Him. Without sincere devotion, everything is simply a show. My dear friends, or sons of the demons, in the same favorable way that one sees himself, takes care of himself, service, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, present everywhere as the Super Soul. O my friends, O sons of the demons, everyone including you, Shadraksha, Shudra, power man, entities can revive this original spiritual life and exist forever simply by accepting the principles of Bhakti Yoga.
In this
material world to render service to the lotus feet of Govinda,
the
the cause of all causes,
and to see him everywhere is the
only goal of life.
This much alone is the ultimate goal of human life, as explained by all the
revealed scriptures. So we'll chant the verse for text 55 and then do the word for word. So text 55. Etavaneva lokesmin Pumshah swartah parah smritah Ekanta bhaktir govinde Sarvatra tad ikshanam Etavaneva lokesmin Pumsah smartah parasmritah Ekanta bhaktir govinde Yat sarvatra tadikshanam Etavaneva lokesmin Pumsah swartha parasmrita Ekanta bhaktir govinde Yat sarvatra tadikshanam Etavaneva lokesmin Pumsah swartha parasmritah
Ekanta bhaktir govinde
Ekanta bhaktir govinde
Yat sarvatra tadikshanam
Yat sarvatra tadikshanam
Etavaneva lokesmin
Etavaneva lokesmin
Swartha parah smritah
Pumsah swartha parah smritah Ekanta bhaktir govinde Yat sarvatra tadikshanam Etavaneva lokesmin Pumsah swartha parasmritah Ekanta bhaktir govinde
Yat sarvatra tad ikshanam
Yat sarvatra tadikshanam
Etavaneva lokesmin
Etavaneva lokesmin Paramasmritah Govinde Yat sarvatra tadikshanam. So let's do word by word. So etavan, this much, eva, certainly, lokesmin, in this material world, Omshaha, of this living entities, Swarthaha, the real self-interest, Paraha, transcendental, regarded, Ekanta Bhakti, by devotional service, Govinde, to Govinda, that which, Sarvatra, everywhere, Tadikshanam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we just read the translation. I'll go through it quickly. In this material world, to render service to the lotus feet of Govinda, the cause of all causes, and to see him everywhere is the only goal of life. This much alone is the ultimate goal of human life, as explained by all the revealed scriptures. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In this verse, the word Sarvatra tad ikshanam describes the highest perfection of devotional service, in which one sees everything with reference to Govinda's activities. The highly elevated devotee never sees anything unrelated to Krishna. Swartha jangama dekhe na dekhe tara murti, sarvatra haya nija ishta deva spurti. The Mahabhagavat, the advanced devotee, certainly sees everything mobile and immobile, but he does not exactly see their forms. Rather, everywhere he immediately sees manifest the form of the Supreme Lord. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 8.274. Even in this material world, a devotee does not see materially manifested things. Instead, he sees Govinda in everything. When he sees a tree or a human being, a devotee sees them in relation to Govinda. Govindam Adi Purusham. Govinda is the original source of everything. We can say this one together. Ishwaraha Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He is an eternal, blissful, spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, for he is the prime cause of all causes. Brahma Samhita 5.1. The test of a perfect devotee is that he sees Govinda everywhere in this universe, even in every atomic particle. Andantarastha paramanu chayantarastham. In this perfect vision of a devotee, it is therefore said, with Narayanam ayadhiraha pashyanti paramarthinaha jagat aminimeyam. A devotee sees everyone and everything in relationship with Narayan. Narayanam ayam. Everything is an expansion of Narayana's energy. Just as those who are greedy see everything as a source of money making, and those who are lusty see everything as being conducive to sex. The most perfect devotee Prahlad Maharaj saw Narayan even within a stone column. This does not mean, however, that we must accept the words Daridra Narayan, which have been manufactured by some unscrupulous person. One who actually envisions Narayan everywhere makes no distinction between the poor and the rich. To single out the Daridra Narayans or poor Narayan and reject the Dhani Narayan or rich Narayan is not the vision of a devotee. Rather, this is the imperfect vision of materialistic persons. Thus in the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 7th canto, 7th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled, What Prahlad Learned in the Womb. Hare Krishna. So very, very beautiful and very powerful build-up that Prahlad Maharaj has given in this chapter. Obviously, the next chapter is Lord Narasimhadev slays the king of the demons. So very interestingly, the chapter is entitled What Prahlad Learned in the Womb. So the previous chapter is Prahlad teaches his classmates, the sons of the demons. And this chapter is what he learned in the womb. So everything that he's teaching, he has learned in the womb of his mother. I mean, that is very extraordinary. We also know of another personality who learned in the womb. Parikshit Maharaj, yes. Also another one. Shukadev Goswami, and there are many. Abhimanyu, thank you, Maharaj. So many personalities. And it again shows that even in the womb, there is full consciousness. Taking a diversion, there's a lot of theory out there that life only starts when you're born. Life starts at conception. So we're speaking about Prahlad Maharaj, and if you remember last time we spoke about Bali Maharaj, who was also a Mahajan. And Srila Prabhupada describes the word Prahlad as Prakrishta Rupena Hlad. We all know Hlada, Ladini Shakti, Radharani. Hlada means blissful, joyful, happy. And Prakrishta Rupena means an exalted state of happiness, always, always happy. Now what makes Prahlad Maharaj always happy? Because he's fully conscious of Krishna, 100%. And it is very clear in his explanation how you actually can do that. And he has said that we can actually all, in any state, be fully Krishna conscious. So again, the personality is very important to start to understand who we're referring to. So Prahlad Maharaj in Lord Chaitanya's pastime is born as Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur is a combined incarnation of Prahlad Maharaj and Brahma. Narad Muni is Srivas Thakur. So Prahlad Maharaj is the combined incarnation Haridas Thakur is the combined incarnation of Prahlad Maharaj and Brahma. So of these 8 verses, I've taken some of the key lessons that Prahlad Maharaj gives. In the 48th verse, he says, follow in the footsteps of devotees. Without desire, fully depend on the Lord. It is absolutely important that we follow in the footsteps of devotees. It's like traversing through the material world, which is a thick jungle. The first person that chalks the path or makes the path has a lot of hard work to do. Clear out the foliage, cut the trees, and remove the grass. But once they traverse on it and devotees have walked on that path, it's very easy for us to walk on that path rather than invent our own way. Text 49, the Lord is most dear and the supreme controller. That is so, so important in our lives. We'll come to that. In the 55th verse, he says he's the cause of all causes. And he can only be the cause if he's the supreme controller, but he's also very dear. Text 50, Prahlad Maharaj says, rendering service to the Lord is the most auspicious condition of life. And think about it, you all are here in devotional service. What an auspicious condition. In fact, Srila Prabhupada was once asked, Swamiji, what if this is all fake? What if there's really no Krishna at the end of our life? Then what? Obviously, it was one of those challenging questions. And Srila Prabhupada, we could have thought that he might challenge back, but he said, even if there is no outcome, you have lived a very auspicious life. You've lived a very clean life. You're waking up early, eating clean food, chanting the holy names, so auspicious. And that's exactly what Prahlad Maharaj says. Rendering service to the Lord is the most auspicious condition of life. And in all of you, this is the most auspicious condition that you're all in. 51, the Lord is pleased only if one has unflinching, unalloyed devotion to Him. So that's where you cannot buy Krishna. You cannot buy your way back home, back to Godhead. No amount of pious credits can actually get you there. It's like your credit card credits. You can buy an air ticket with that. You cannot buy an air ticket to Golok Vrindavan with that. Only unalloyed devotional service. Text 52, same thing. Only pure devotional service pleases Krishna. 53, as one takes care of himself, take to devotional service. So that's again putting Krishna in the center of our lives. Like we wake up and we look at the mirror, we want to make sure we're all fine, our hair is all combed, and we take care of ourselves. When we're hungry or thirsty, we respond to that. In the same way, putting Krishna in the center, whatever Krishna's needs are, you fulfill that. That is when pure devotional service sparks. And then number 54, revive your spiritual life and exist forever with Bhakti Yoga. And that is where, as human beings, we have the perfect opportunity for eternal life. Now, as we all get older, we start to realize, I wish I was young. I wish I could have done so many other things in my youth. But in the spiritual world, it is explained that time is there, but time is only there to enhance Krishna's pastimes. No one gets older, no one gets sick. And that eternal existence can only be established through Bhakti Yoga. And coming to today's verse, Prahlad Maharaj gives a very clean synthesis of devotional service, but he gives 3 buckets of wisdom here, which we can touch on. 3 parts to this verse. Number 1, rendering devotional service is the ultimate goal of human life. That's the first. And we'll go through each of these. Number 2, seeing Govinda or Krishna everywhere. And 3, Govinda and Krishna is the cause of all causes. So let's go into each of these. Number 1, devotional service is the ultimate goal of human life. Again, human life is very, very rare. It's explained in many of our scriptures. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Manushyanam sahasreshu. Out of many thousands of men, after many, many lifetimes, we get a human form. And in the human form of life, look outside of Toronto, in the GTA, there are 6 million people. Everyone running to make sure that their life is as good as it can be. But all of that life is very temporary. Srila Prabhupada explained that the demigods are lining up, queuing up to take birth in ISKCON. Why? I mean, they have all the facilities in the heavenly planets, but they cannot perform devotional service. Devotional service requires a bit of tapasya. It requires a bit of dealing with the dualities, all the pulls and pushes of our senses. And this is the place where Krishna himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Purna Purushottam Bhagavan, manifested and performed his pastime. So I think when you struggle in your daily activities or in any aspect of your life, just think how auspicious it is that you are in this human form of life. And after many, many births, one who's actually in knowledge surrenders unto Krishna, knowing Krishna to be the cause of all causes. So devotional service is pure and complete. And so how can it be the ultimate goal of life? You have a question, Prabhu? Shall we park the question till the end, Prabhu? I just want to make sure I cover. Please don't forget, write it down. Why would devotional service be the ultimate goal? In the corporate world, we are told to make SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. But the ultimate goal is Bhakti Yoga. Why? It's actually a very simple answer. Every other goal is very temporary because material life is very temporary. Some people say material life is an illusion. It's actually not an illusion. It's very temporary. Our youth, our old age, our disease, our birth, everything is very temporary. You have a finite period of time. And therefore the ultimate goal that transcends all these conditions is Bhakti Yoga, because that touches the soul. So how do we understand what Bhakti is? In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the ultimate goal, so Prahlad Maharaj says ultimate goal is Bhakti Yoga. So how do we define Bhakti Yoga? Let's get into that. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it says Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of all senses. It's a very beautiful verse. We all know that Sarvapadi Vinirmuktam Tat Paratvena Nirmalam. So when the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme Lord, there are two side effects. One is freed from all material designations, and one's senses are simply to be employed in the service of the Lord. That is then Bhakti. And I would say, I think amongst all the various spiritual institutions that are out there, ISKCON is exploding. Why? Because Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, has given us such a pure process. As human beings, we can perform devotional service very easily. And what happens, so when you'd say, okay, so devotional service is great, but I have responsibilities. I'm a son, I'm a daughter, I have a family, how do I do that? You obviously perform your dharma. You do your responsibility as in whatever state you're in. And that dharma you then offer to Krishna. The results of your actions are fully offered to Krishna. That is the full consciousness with which you do it. But even higher than that, in the first canto, second chapter, it's explained that the savai pumsha paro dharma yato bhakti radhokshate ahoitaki apratihata yatma suprasidati. Whatever we do, we're seeking happiness, right? Anyone here not seeking happiness? Whatever we do, we're trying to gain some form of happiness. But what will actually give us happiness? We eat a gulab jamun and that's it. For 5 seconds, it's an explosion of bliss, and then it fizzles out. There's only so much you can actually do. You watch a nice movie, and after a few rounds, it's very boring. Whatever you do has a very limited time of satisfaction. But here in the Bhagavatam it's explained, the supreme occupation for all humanity is by which men can attain devotional service to the Supreme Lord, Adhokshaja. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So we're looking for complete satisfaction. That complete satisfaction can only happen through devotional service. So not only is it the human form of life that we're given, but also when we're seeking complete satisfaction. So every other goal is temporary. It binds us. You can perform really good pious activities, give charity. You'll be elevated to the heavenly planets. But after your punya is finished, you'll come down again. It's all in the Bhagavad Gita, very clearly written. Shinya punya martya lokam vishanti. So all of these things, let's put them aside. And as you all are doing, I'm preaching to myself rather, you're doing it so wonderfully. Let's really make bhakti the ultimate goal of our life. Then the second part, seeing Krishna everywhere. Now that's, once you know the goal, our ultimate goal is Bhakti Yoga. Then you perform the devotional service by seeing Krishna everywhere. And how do you see Krishna everywhere? It is explained in various chapters of the Bhagavad Gita and various verses of how you can actually see. I would say seeing, it's also a bit of an experience. So the taste of water, what is that verse? Rasoham apsu kaunteya. So, yes. Shabdake paurusham rishu. That's right. So the taste of water, when you drink water, that taste, and we get that taste when we're actually thirsty, that is Krishna. The moonshine that nourishes the herbs, it's all in the Bhagavad Gita. So when you taste something that is sweet, that is nourished by Krishna's energy. You look out in the sun, Krishna's eyes, explained the sun and moon are their eyes. Even in the Purusha Shukta, it's explained the sun and the moon or the sun is Krishna's eyes. Even in the subtler things, the intelligence of the intelligent, Prabhu just recited this amazing verse. That intelligence comes from Krishna. So we see Krishna's empowerment, Krishna's presence in our life. And in so many ways, Krishna describes that. Among women, he says, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. So all these qualities, that's all Krishna. Krishna doesn't say that about men, eh? Doesn't say anything about men. So fortunate to be in that form, that women, among women, find speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. That is Krishna. Amongst the strength, that is Krishna. He is time, he is death personified. So we make Krishna the ultimate goal, and we see Krishna everywhere. The taste of prasadam, that is directly Krishna. The Bhagavatam is Krishna. That then gets us into the state of pure Krishna consciousness. Then we get to the third stage, which is a little tricky. So that stage is where Govinda is the cause of all causes. So when everything happens good in our life, we thank Krishna. Krishna, thank you. I'm here, everything is sorted, I'm comfortable. But when things don't go our way, to see Krishna's hand in that, that is advanced Krishna consciousness. And we can touch on a few things on how to actually get there. Obviously, we need to look at the advanced devotees. But I want to maybe alleviate any concern that there might be like this, Krishna is the cause of all causes. So if something bad happens, Prabhu, is that Krishna doing it? How do we understand Krishna as the cause of all causes? So Krishna creates the material world. We all know that. There's a whole process in the Bhagavatam 5th canto that's explained. Mahavishnu lies down in the causal ocean, then the universe is formed. Even before that, the Mahat Tattva is created. So all the elements are it's like a cosmic soup. It's like a khichdi of all the elements. And Krishna combines those together, creates the material world. He creates the elements. He creates the false ego, mind, intelligence. He creates the 5 elements, the earth, water, fire, air, ether. And then he creates the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. And then he impregnates all of that with life, with his vision. Just by looking, he puts life into the material world. And then, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why should he have to even lift a finger? So he delegates the responsibility of managing the universe down to the devatas. So Krishna creates all of this, then he lies in the causal ocean as Mahavishnu, and Lord Brahma is born from his navel. And Lord Brahma is given the task of create the universe, and all the devatas spring forward, and there is a perfect harmony of a cosmic manifestation that is running perfectly. Everything is happening as the cause caused by Krishna. So that's the one layer, but one thin layer below that, or on top of all of that, is that we are also Krishna's what? Parts and parcels. Perfect. We are Krishna's, we are his expansions, we are his amsha, mameva amsha jiva loke. So Krishna is fully independent. So would his part and parcel have independence? Yes or no? Yes. But our independence is very finite, very, very limited. We can only do so much. Krishna's independence is unlimited. So as the living entities, we come into this material world, we have a small amount of independence. With that independence, we take particular action and there are results. So we have the complete independence to surrender to Krishna or reject Krishna and live a materialistic life. And therefore Krishna is the cause of creating that independence, but we are the secondary cause of our own sufferings. So Krishna creates the law of karma. And in the law of karma, whatever action you do, there is a reaction. And there are so many pastimes in our Vedic scriptures that speak about the law of karma. So whatever action you do, there is a reaction to it. And there are multitudes of layers in this that we can understand. So when we're talking about the cause of all causes, and there's suffering that comes in our life, let's draw a boundary. So anyone who's not practicing devotional service, they're in the cycle of repetition of birth and death. And in each birth and death, they perform action and they get reaction. So they move to higher planets, they go down to lower planets, and sometimes they really, really suffer the reactions of their actions. So when you now come to devotional service, what actually happens to those karmas? So when we look at a devotee's life and there's some setback or some negativity that happens, there's a few layers that are in play. Number one, Srila Prabhupada, when he was spreading the Krishna consciousness movement in Mayapur, his devotees met one of the astrologers, and they told him, we are followers of Srila Prabhupada. And he said, oh, that Bhaktivedanta Swami, he has no karma. There's no past karmas that are affecting Srila Prabhupada. Yet if you look at Srila Prabhupada, he had 2 heart attacks when he's coming to the West to preach. So how is that even understandable? And if that is Srila Prabhupada, what can we say about us? So the one first layer of understanding is that this material world is dukhalayam ashashvatam, a place of misery. So expect it. Expect that there will be suffering. Number two is obviously karmas that we do. Number three, on top of that, we can actually be cursed in certain ways. We see so many Gandharvas and Devatas, they do something wrong, they get a curse. It's explained in a previous, another Purana that Prahlad Maharaj in his previous birth was a great devotee, but he did some offense to a Brahmana who cursed him to be born as a demon. But we'll get to that. How does Krishna consolidate all those? So that's that. Then the fourth layer is obviously offenses that we would do. So once you practice devotional service, what actually happens? So the process of performing devotional service itself burns up our karmas. And in fact, some karmas are in the form of seeds. So those seeds will take time to fructify and germinate and actually give you the fruit. But because of fire of devotional service, like if you want to plant any seed, if you roast that seed on fire, then you put it in the ground, there will be no germination. So even our seeds of karma can be burnt. But again, it's fully up to Krishna. If there are certain karmic reactions that we need to go through as part of our purification, we will get those. So it's in completely Krishna's independence. And I want to touch on, in the 9th canto, there is the 2nd chapter, there's a pastime of prashraddha. And when I first read that, I was actually quite taken aback because I had never heard previously of curses being eradicated by Bhakti Yoga. But Prashraddha, he was kind of like a Kshatriya, and he was given the task of protecting the cows. And one night what happened, it was raining heavily and there was thick clouds, it's all in the Bhagavatam. And he was standing with his sword to protect the cows, and a tiger came and attacked the cows. So he didn't know what to do. He couldn't see anything, he could hear. He went with the sound and he swished his sword. Lo and behold, what did he do? He actually killed the cow and not the tiger. So his guru actually cursed him. So he went to his guru. His guru actually cursed him. You'll be born as a Shudra in your next life. Now, let's pray that never happens to anyone, that you get cursed by your own guru. But what did he actually do? He folded his hands and accepted that curse. But he then performed full devotional service, completely surrendering to Krishna. And at the end of that life, his devotional perfection was so high, completely nullified the curse, and he went back home at the end of that life. So the power of devotional service, we make Krishna the ultimate goal. We see him everywhere, and we know him to be the cause of all causes. Surrender even our karmas and our curses to him. Then you will be taken back by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So that is the power of devotional service. So seeing Krishna as the cause of all causes, even in the difficultest times, is the hardest thing that we could do. But it is the most important thing for us to do, because that is what opens the door for us to get out of this material world. And in wrapping up, I will quote the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 13th chapter. And this is a verse by Lord Brahma, where he explains that Tattenu kampam susumekshamano Bunjana evatma kritam vipakam ritvag vapurbhir vidadam namaste jivet yo mukti pade sadayabhak. My dear Lord, pay attention, this is a very powerful verse. One who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds, and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. So even while going through those intense miseries and sufferings, Lord Brahma is giving us that key, that step. Even in those most difficult situations, we offer obeisances to Krishna. We offer a heartfelt thank you to Krishna. That Krishna, this suffering that I'm going through must be as a result of something I've done, or you are guiding me in the right path. So please accept my obeisances, and that gives you the rightful claim to be liberated from this material world. So the three, just to summarize again, the three parts to this particular verse that Prahlad Maharaj has shared. Rendering devotional service is the what? Ultimate goal of human life. Seeing Krishna, everything. And Govinda is the cause of all causes. Thank you, Prabhus. So I'll pause here and open up for reflections and questions if there are. Prabhu, you had a question, please. Right?
Prabhu, you mentioned that demigods are lining up to be in human form.
Yes.
But to do the devotional service. But they're already doing devotional service, like Brahma was born to do the devotional service.
Yes.
24/7 the guys are. Their whole and soul aim of life is to serve Krishna.
Yes.
But still they need to be in human form.
They do.
Is it fair?
Well, we need to ask them, is it fair? But I would say, Brahma is kind of the topmost. If you look, there are many other devatas. There's 330 million devatas. 33 crore is the basic number that's given, 330 million. They are lining up to take human birth because from the heavenly planets, there is no access to the spiritual world. The portal, the portal to get to the spiritual world is here in Bhoma, in this Bhumi, in this, the middle planetary systems. So they're taking birth to they're lining up to take birth in ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada had said, to perform their devotional service, to then go back home, back to Godhead. I mean, I'll give you another example. In the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, it's explained by Sanatan Goswami that there was a boy called Gopakumar, and his journey is described in these 3 books, very, very beautiful. And it's explained that he was very much attracted to Goloka Krishna. So Goloka Krishna is, Krishna holding his flute and tending the cows. So like that, he performed devotional service, but it wasn't complete, and he went all the way into Vaikuntha. Now that's the spiritual world. So outside of the material world, there's the Viraja river. You cross the river, then there's the Brahmajyoti, unlimited Brahmajyoti. Then you get into the planets. The first planet is Sadashiva. Lord Shiva has an eternal planet in the spiritual world. No other devata. That's why we were speaking last time. Lord Shiva is actually a Shiva Tattva, a Tattva in himself. Then the Vaikuntha planet. So Narayan, Narasimha, Varaha. There's in the first Srimad Bhagavatam, in the cover, it's a beautiful picture. So this Gopakumar went to Vaikuntha planets, and all the queens of Lord Narayan were especially merciful to him. They treated him like his son. And he was there, blissful. Imagine, Vaikuntha, there is no suffering. I know devotees sometimes say, please, just at least let me enter Vaikuntha. Goloka Vrindavan is too high. But this Gopakumar was in Vaikuntha. But he still was not satisfied. He wanted to enter Golok. He wanted to see Krishna in the threefold bending form. But he couldn't just take an elevator from Vaikuntha to Golok. He had to be born in this material world, on this planet, and perform devotional service trained by the Vrajavasis. And that then made him qualified to then enter Golok Vrindavan. And then when he enters Golok Vrindavan, Lord Krishna welcomes him with an embrace. Lord Krishna faints, and it's explained that he's one of the associates of Radharani, or a family member of Radharani. So that the entire pastime, if from Vaikuntha you can't go to Golok Vrindavan, then the devatas have no chance. So you have to come into this human form of life. So the human form of life, why is it very important? There are various reasons, but as us sadhakas, it's important to understand that human dealings of your parents, your siblings, your wife, your spouse, your children, those are the dealings in the spiritual world in the purest form. In the demigod, in the devata planets, those dealings are very different. It's very opulent and very much sense enjoyment. So the dealings, the relationship is only on this material world. And therefore the duality that we deal with of sometimes the same person who you get a lot of respect and joy from is the same person who will give you a lot of misery. And that unique relationship in the human form of life is what trains us to be able to go back to Godhead, Goloka Vrindavan. And it's also explained by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur that in your human life, once you perfect your spiritual life, you actually take birth in one of these unlimited material planets, in earthly planet, in Vrindavan, and you're trained by the Vrajavasis. And that is your first entry before you go into Golok Vrindavan. So you're fully trained. Because look, we all here desire to go back to Golok, right? Anyone here who wants to go back to Golok? Everyone wants to go back to Golok in this lifetime. So the desire is there, we're ready. Prabhu has both hands up. He wants to go right now. But, one of my teachers explained it like this. So imagine if Krishna takes you right now to Golok Vrindavan, in your form as it is. You're going to go there. Let me speak for myself. I'm going to go there and say, wow, this is amazing, Krishna. I like it. This is beautiful. But why is that devotee treating you like this? Why is that devotee doing this? I mean, the mind is not fully purified. But the base that I need as a human being of that adan pradan of a relationship, that is there. We just need to purify it. So just stay in the process, and you will actually get there. The demigods have a very special relationship with Krishna. And in many of the cantos, it's even explained that in the 9th canto, when Indra was actually killed, Lord Krishna himself came in and he took the form of Indra. So these are like posts, like Mr. President, Joe Biden. It was previously Trump, it was Obama, but we call Mr. President. It's a title. So Brahma is like that, it's a title. And any Jivatma who does enough pious activities can be given the form of Brahma. As Brahma, you're able to shake Lord Vishnu's hands. It's explained that the first handshake that happened in the entire universe is Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu shaking hands. And Lord Vishnu said, create the universe. And Lord Brahma created. But still, for Brahma to go back home, you have to take birth here. Hope that answered.
Another question.
Yes, bro.
Can I ask a follow-up on that before you go to another question? Can I ask that? So, like why Narad Muni did a lot of pious activities, and that's the reason he got this boon to be born and to speak of Hari everywhere, right?
Yes.
So, if he did so much of spiritual service, and that's the reason he got this role,
Yes.
to be able to travel and take Hari name, then why wasn't that practice enough for him to go to Golok? Because he was right here in the human form, right?
He was, yes.
Why from here to there, and then back here, and then back there? Like, why that space? If he was already a devotee.
That's a very, very nice question. Thank you. So the desire of a devotee, before I get to Narad Muni, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he left his body, we know Bhakti Vinod Thakur prayed for a ray of Vishnu, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada's guru. When he left his body, he said, I am going to the moon planet to preach there. So we would think, Hare Krishna, like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, like go back home, enjoy your life there. You're serving Krishna directly as a manjari. But he's not satisfied. He wants to be here to serve in the preaching movement. Srila Prabhupada himself said, I'm also not leaving this material plane. So let's really not think Srila Prabhupada has gone. He's very close to us. In the same way, Prahlad Maharaj has also explained that until all your devotees, all these conditioned souls are taken back home, let me stay in this material world. So for the purpose of preaching, prachar, these devotees have stayed here. Lord Hanuman has said, as long as the Ramayana is recited here, let me stay here. And then I can, Hare Krishna, and then I can, help devotees. So from a point of preaching, Narad Muni stayed. And if you look at the Srimad Bhagavatam, all the impact that Narad Muni had, Prahlad Maharaj, the teachings that he's sharing is who taught him all that? Narad Muni. He heard in the womb from Narad Muni in his mother, the wife of Hiranyakashipu Kayadu. Narad Muni, Dhruva Maharaj wanted to get a planet higher than Brahma even. And who actually inspired him? Narad Muni. Dhruva Maharaj told him, please, if you don't have anything positive to share, please leave. I've got serious devotional service to perform. And then Narad Muni understood. He initiated him, gave him the mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. The Prachetas, Daksha's sons, all these, the Narad Muni is everywhere. And in our sampradaya, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that Narad Muni. So, for them, for us, I think as regular Jivatmas, we just want elevation from misery. Just let's go back home, back to Godhead. For the advanced pure devotees, they don't want just for themselves, they want to take everyone with. And in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, like Vasudev Ghosh, one of the associates of Lord Chaitanya, He said, let all the sins of all the living entities on this planet come on my head. And please, you take them back home to Golok Vrindavan. So the elevated consciousness and desire of these devotees is, let everyone go back, let me stay here and suffer. And for those devotees, Krishna is personally present right there with them. They are already in the spiritual world. It's like a bubble is around them. They're in that mini embassy of spiritual world. And that's why wherever they are, the spiritual world manifests. So I hope I answered, Mataji.
Just one more question.
Yes.
So, is it on the desire of the devotee that Krishna gives them this mercy, that if they want to preach, he sends them and then they'll preach and then they'll come back, unless they have that desire to go back to Golok? Is it dependent on that desire or
Yes.
Krishna?
No, it's fully dependent on their desire. That's the independence. So pure love with Krishna cannot happen when Krishna says, you need to love me, or you need to do what I'm saying. Pure love is when Krishna says, what do you want? And the devotee will say, whatever you want, Krishna. There's no, what do you want? No, what do you want? That sweetness of love between a devotee. So when a devotee desires it, yes, Krishna will say, okay, then you stay here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Jai. So, one more question, bro.
Shashtakam as well, Mahaprabhu says like, I want causeless devotional service.
Birth after birth.
After birth means
Yes.
I want to be born again.
Yes.
And to be doing the devotional service.
Yeah, no, actually, he's not desiring liberation. So, he's not saying, I want to be born again. He says, in any birth, in every birth, let me be fully, mama janmanish janmanishware, bhavatad bhakti rahoitaki tvai. So, whatever birth, he's not asking for liberation. So, the difference is, devotees don't ask for liberation, they ask for bhakti. And in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it's explained that Krishna will very easily give bhakti. It's like buy one, get one free. Mukti, liberation. Very easily give liberation. You want liberation? I'll liberate you and your entire family. Go. Just, But bhakti, like I want to be your devotee. Then Krishna is bound. Krishna does not give that. And in fact, Krishna doesn't have it to give it. You get it from devotees. So that's the bit of the difference. So Mahaprabhu is giving us the example of we shouldn't be desiring liberation, we should be desiring bhakti. Because bhakti is a side effect. Mukti is a side effect of bhakti. Liberation it's standing there and saying, how can I serve you, devotee? And the devotee is like, wait, I have japa to do. I have services to do. So that's the mindset.
The question was, Prabhu, you mentioned we are part and parcels of Krishna.
Yes.
And we have the same quantities as he has, but in like different quantities.
Yes.
He is called Purush, and we are coming out of him. We are called Prakriti.
Yes.
Why are we not called Purush since he is coming out of Purush?
Because there's two layers. One, there's a tattva layer, which is the essence of the truth. So Vishnu tattva and we are Jiva tattva. Jiva tattva is qualitatively the same, but quantitatively very different. So Krishna is called Purusha. Purusha means enjoyer. Now, if you look at general non-devotional related linguistics, Sanskrit and Hindi, Purusha means a man and Stri is a woman. So that's why it's described as sometimes we are even called, in washroom sometimes it's written Purusha and Stri. The difference, that is a linguistic word. So Prakriti means that which is enjoyed by the Purusha. So the only way the Purusha will enjoy Prakriti is when the Prakriti serves the Purusha. I'm in the devotional realm. So for Prakriti, for Purusha to be able to be enjoyed, Prakriti needs to serve Purusha. And therefore, even if we might be in a human body, our soul, the Jivatma, the Tattva, is of a Prakriti Tattva, which is to serve Krishna and give pleasure to Krishna. So that's why we are called, there's only one Purusha. And sometimes because, they're devatas, they're expansions, Krishna is called Purushottama. 15th chapter is Purushottama Yoga. So Purusha Uttama, the topmost Purusha amongst all other expansions. So Krishna is always Purusha, we're always Prakriti, because it's the consciousness. Our consciousness is to serve and please. Hope that answered, bro. I see a few other hands.
Just have one question.
Yes,
So
bro.
Do you have time for one more question?
Yes, if everyone, Prabhu, Venkat Prabhu is...
If anyone would like to Even they can take.
Yes.
Continue the-
Yes.
So Prabhu, firstly, thanks for this amazing lecture.
Hare
So
Krishna.
thematically breaking that into three major buckets.
Hare
I
Krishna.
have a question on the third bucket.
Yes.
Is around seeing Krishna everywhere. We
Yes.
also quoted something from Gita where
Yes.
he says, "I'm the taste of water,
Yes.
intelligence," and so on. The list continues.
Yes.
So my question is sometimes because we are trying to get the personal feature or trying to think about the personal feature, sometimes it becomes difficult to reconcile.
Yes.
How do I reconcile the taste of prasadam with Krishna's personality? So
Yes.
can you share some?
Very, very nice question, Prabhu. Your mood of devotional service is very personal, and that is very important. The 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is Krishna in every form. In fact, in various verses, Krishna explains that is to help a new devotee who's trying to see Krishna outside of the deity form. The deities are closed on certain times, and you can't see that. We're not able to personally see Krishna. And therefore, this is a mechanism to help us elevate our consciousness. When you're alone in a desert and you find an oasis and you drink water, there's no deity or Bhagavatam. The holy name is obviously there, but that taste is there to help you remind. It's like a tool that can help you elevate your consciousness that, this is Krishna. And even prasad, when devotees honor prasad, it is the mercy of Krishna coming through. So we relish every taste. Like when you see the videos of Srila Prabhupada honoring prasad in Bhaktivedanta manner, he's sitting facing the wall. He's not facing anyone. And he's relishing every taste because it's not that he's enjoying the food. He's tasting the presence of Krishna's mercy. And the more our consciousness is that, the more the prasad reveals Krishna's form. So in this way, our senses currently are not fully ready to meet Krishna one-on-one and embrace Krishna like Gopakumar did. So these are the various stepping stones that we can step on and elevate our consciousness to get there. I hope that answers, Prabhu. Yeah. I can continue, Prabhu. Prabhu, please. Yes.
As I understood, a typical devotee, he does not really, and mukti is not his final goal.
Yes.
His final goal is devotional service.
Yes.
Does that mean he's not preferring to go to the Vaikuntha or Goloka because it's liberation over there?
Remember, there's 5 kinds of liberations, and one is entrance into Vaikuntha. One other liberation is you merge into the Brahmajyoti. One liberation is you get the form of Lord Vishnu. So the devotee doesn't desire any of these. A devotee, pure devotee, as Prahlad Maharaj explained, is desiring only to serve Krishna in a favorable way. Whatever form Krishna desires or gives him, that is the form that they're given. But if a soul's original form is to be a servant in, say, Varaha Loka, Lord Varaha is there, or Narsimha Loka, then that devotee will then take his original form, go back to Narsimha Loka, and render his original devotional services there. So it's like the devotional service is the purest that you need. Whatever form that takes, that's up to Krishna. So Krishna says, the service of the gopis or the cows, in his heart, it's the same. So for him, whatever devotional service is performed, he accepts that. Now, some devotees are in Madhurya, some are in Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, you understand, right? More conjugal love, some are in parental love, they want to see Krishna as a son, some want to see him as a friend, they want to box with him and wrestle with him. So it's again that original form then is, once the layers are removed of conditioning, that original form emerges. And whatever that form is, that is the service they get. So a pure devotee doesn't ask, I want to go here. Krishna, actually, I want to go to Dwarka. It's more opulent there. I don't like cow down. No, devotees don't choose like that. Devotees are like, whatever service you need, I'm here to render that. So favorable service that is up to Krishna's desire.
Okay, so devotee has the final destination to have the devotional service. And at the same time, he prefers to be liberated.
No, he doesn't prefer. It depends on every devotee. So,
okay, Goloka Vrindavana, is it considered to be liberation or?
to get there, you are liberated from material conditioning. So liberation means you're liberated from the three modes. So they're not having any effect on you at all. So sattva, rajas, tamas, they're not having any effect on you. Your material nature has stepped away, and Krishna's Yogamaya comes in and gives you shelter. Krishna personally gives you shelter. So liberation is needed to enter Golok Vrindavan. But liberation is not the final goal of a devotee. Because
That liberation means be free of the three modes. That's what
yes. To enter Golok Vrindavan, you do need to be liberated from here. But you can be liberated and stay here, as we just discussed. You can stay here and serve, if that is the desire. It's all very individual. It's very up to the individual soul and what they want.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Jai.